What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Big Brother Live Chats right here on CBS. We got a big show for you today. As you all know, there was double eviction last week, and one of the victims of that double eviction is my man Frank the Tank right here, man. Frank, I mean, I'd be a lie to say I wasn't pulling for you. I mean, amazing season. Nothing to be ashamed of. Amazing season, man.
I appreciate it, Jeff. I mean, I was a big fan of yours, too. You know, I watched both your seasons. I was rooting for you the whole way, and there were times I felt like you, like I was just this big target that everybody wanted out of the house, and it was tough. I mean, on the block since week one, and on the block every other time I was in HOH after that.
Well, you made it through that one competition. I could not with the clown shoe.
Oh, I got lucky because mine were shamrocks. I mean, I looked in there. I mean, the first time I found one, I wasn't even sure if it was the right thing, and I just went for it. And I think what helped me is some of those guys tried to clear those hurdles completely. I always just kind of used my hands. I was like, I'm not going to try to clear this. It
gets you out of breath, that competition, but
I mean, my adrenaline was just pumping through the roof. I was out of breath. I came in there yelling at everybody too at the top. Oh,
you were fired up. I liked it. I loved that episode, man. It was a great episode, and you did what I could not. In the same lane, it got me a little nervous.
Yeah.
But you powered through that one, but you couldn't make it all the way. But hats off to a great season.
Thank you very much.
What we do here every week, we take questions from the audience, so that's what we're going to do right now. And the first one, we're going to get right to it. And it says, first question, were there any moments where you thought of trusting Dan would be a mistake? I mean, right into the heart of things.
Okay, I mean, Mike and I trusted Dan in the very beginning whenever there were still the coaches going on. And there was week 3 when I was up on the block against Joe, and Dan was telling us all week, oh, I'm working on Danielle's vote. Oh, you've got Danielle's vote. We found out after the reset that they were both lying to us the whole time. And so then he went to Mike. We had the secret conversation where he said, look, three's company, two's a crowd, or two's company, three's a crowd. He wanted me out of the house so he could work with Mike by himself.
Right.
And I always kind of kept that in the back of my head. And even whenever Mike tried to trust him, I had that one time when I was HOH that I could have backdoored Dan. And I tried to talk Mike into it on more than one occasion. And he's just like, no, we can trust him, Frank. We can trust him. And I trusted Dan a couple different times, and it came back to bite me, obviously, big time.
That's right. I almost forgot about the first time you could have got him out, and then
we could have sent him and Danielle home. I could have backdoored him, and then I could have sent him home last week. I passed up on 3 chances.
So, I mean, there's all these questions are going to touch on it, but from your point of view, like, you had to do something to trust some people, and you kind of touched on that. You had to trust somebody. You couldn't do it alone. So, reaching out to Dan, you know, you could look back and say, I would have did this or I should have did this, but you needed somebody in that house because Mike was gone and he was definitely your biggest ally, and you needed to Ashley wins, and then you needed to reach out to somebody. You needed a hand.
Yeah, after that double eviction, I felt completely alone in the house. I mean, even though I won that HOH, and I did feel as though I had Jen. I trusted Jen at that point. But I knew that there were 7 people left in the house, and I couldn't do it with just one person. I knew I couldn't win every competition by myself. I'm sorry, there were 8 people left in the house at that point because Brittany was still there. And I knew the whole house was against me. I knew everybody went into that arcade room to tell Ian to put up me and Ashley. I knew everybody wanted me out. And so I tried my best. I mean, luckily I played a pretty honest game up until that point, and I was hoping that honesty would get people to trust in me. I was hoping they would go, hey, if you can't beat him, join him. And I kind of got that mentality, but it turns out they were all just kind of BSing me.
Yeah, man, you played a really honest game. I mean, you were straight up with everybody, and it's just... oh, man, you think this is the game for you?
Well, you know...
I mean, I tried to play an honest game, too. It's just...
Yeah, we had trouble.
Yeah.
You know, when I walked in, I was like, hey, you know, a lot of people check their integrity and their character at the door, you know, and I wanted to go in with mine and walk out with more. But people like Dan, they walk out with less, I feel like. And even though I didn't win, I do feel better about my game than I feel like somebody like Dan. I mean, the guy swore in a Bible to me and went back on it.
Well, you went there. I was going to touch on it, but, you know, it's tough to do that. You know, it's like, especially coming from a Catholic background,
exactly.
I think he does. And, you know, to do that and to swear on those are kind of sacred things, you know, that you don't cross the line. But, I mean, it's Big Brother. You got to do what you have to do. They say, you know, expect the unexpected. And, you know, it's some people, they can do whatever they have to do to win that money. Would you do whatever you had to do to win that money?
You know, the way
Would you change your integrity if you went back in, or would you play the same?
See, I don't think so. Like, you know, I feel like if I play professional sports, I would play a clean game. I wouldn't play a dirty game because that's just the type of person I am. People say Big Brother is just a game, but you don't take 3 months off from your life to play a game. It's still your life, and I still wanted to be myself and while I was in that house no matter what.
Yeah, well, I mean, people play it differently.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. And it could have been what hurt me, but at the same time, hopefully the fans out there see that, I was trying to play an honest game and respect the game, because I do love the game a lot.
Is there any chance for you and Dan to be friends outside of the house?
I
know it's a little soon. It's a little soon.
Right now, that wound is a little too fresh for me to think about that.
I hear you, man.
Yeah.
I hear you. Because it's. How long were you in that house?
62 days.
Did you count everything? Do you know how many dishes you have and all this stuff? Or
Not
you
the
didn't get
dishes,
that far
but
yet?
no, I didn't get that far. But I had a pretty good, concept of the timeline and when things happen and stuff like that. 'Cause, I had my little math system worked out. But
what did you do with that bear that you took out, by the way? That was a question that someone had.
Oh, I don't have it with me right now, but I've got it back, and I'll be taking that home with me.
You're gonna have to check that thing and pay an extra $35.
I think I'm just going to buy him his own seat. I think he deserves it. He's been with me since day
that
one.
much, huh? You hugged 2 people on the way out, and the bear was one of them.
Absolutely.
You took them with.
And Jen.
So
yeah.
were you mad at everybody in that house, or what was your feelings when Were you blindsided when you thought it was the votes didn't go your way?
The thing was, this week was a lot of deja vu for me, because week 3 I was up on the block against Joe.
Exactly, yeah.
And I was depending on Dan and Danielle. And they told me all week I was good, and then I found out afterwards that I wasn't good. So here I was again, having to depend on them too. And since I'm a positive thinker, there's like a 60% chance I was staying 4-0. But realistically, I knew that it was probably not going to go in my favor. And but
so
still,
you had an inkling in the back of your head that you might not
absolutely
make it through.
Yeah, and as soon as it went 3-1, I knew that I was going out the door, and the reason I didn't want to talk to anybody too was it was hard for me to leave the house. I fought really hard to make it into the house, and
You're having all these serious conversations, and you got this carrot costume on,
I mean, I was having toe-to-toe arguments with people in the house, and here I am in this orange costume with this hat on top of my head all cocked to the side with some green roots. It was pretty funny.
Oh, again, great season, but that was extra special. So you're still wearing some of Boogie's clothes,
Yeah. I asked Boogie to leave me a couple things, and he wanted me to, we both kind of wanted to give an homage to him after he was gone, so I wanted to wear some of his stuff. I've got the Brady t-shirt and the coach, or Team Boogie t-shirt and the coach hat and some other stuff.
You definitely represented Boogie while he was gone.
I tried to, man. I mean, because the truth is I feel guilty about him and Ashley going home, because I know pretty much they were bystanders of people trying to get me out of the house.
Would you go with any other, I think I know the answer to this, but would you go with any other coach from the beginning other than Mike?
You talking about before they picked us?
Yeah, like knowing what you know now, if you could reset the whole game again.
Well, the thing was, no matter what, I think me and Mike would have had a connection. We had a lot in common. We got along well, and we were able to sit out there like grumpy old men in the morning, drink our coffee, and I don't know. I almost cussed. I don't want to say, but we just kind of complain about all the other house guests and what we.
Well, you need
to
to vent. You need somebody to vent to.
I know.
I had my Jordan there.
Yeah.
And it really does help you. I know. The live feeder. You're obviously on camera 24/7. I don't watch all that, but you need a venting moment. And
Absolutely.
I think Mike was your vent, and you guys played off each other very well.
Because we knew we could have those conversations and we could say whatever we want, and they wouldn't go anywhere else. And that, when he left, I didn't realize how important that was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's tough to go through that house. Oh, I'm not getting any questions here. I'm just going off the cuff because I got so much to ask you.
Yeah.
How about you regret not taking some of that money that Boogie was dishing out in that one competition? You gave it to Ian and Jen.
Especially now that Ian came back and backstabbed me and Mike. It's like, here, this kid. I went up on the block first week because of him. I went up on the block the third week because of him, and I passed up on this cash because I was trying to be a team player, and I didn't want Mike to have to. I knew that Mike would have probably picked me because they would have been like always picking favorites, and the other people would have used that against them to trying to separate them from me and Mike. And so I was like, hey, give the money to them. And obviously now, sure, I would have liked to have taken it. It'd be nice to have an extra 3 G's or an extra G bar in the bank, but I don't. And I'm glad that Jen got it, and at the same time, seeing Ian get emotional about it made me feel good for the kid. I know it meant a lot to him.
So is there any regrets, I should say, but I don't like using that word because you can't have any regrets, but there's any moment specifically that you would change that you think would have got you a little further in the game?
There's 2 things, and I wouldn't have maybe had to do the second one if not, but I think I would have sent Dan and Danielle home week 2. I think I would have done that. And if not that, I would have kept Will over Joe. And I think Will could have actually been an ally and a number going forward for Mike and I. And instead, we were worried about him knowing about the Silent Six, even though we weren't really a part of the Silent Six. It was those 4 and Ian's rat ass.
How did you feel about those little you caught on right away when Dan told you, there's another alliance and there's 5. You hit it right away. You're like, Ian.
See, I already had my assumptions because I would tell Mike even after we thought it was Dan that threw us under the bus after the swamp competition that Shane won. I told Mike, I was like, do you think it's possible that it's Ian? And Mike was like, absolutely not. There's no way he'd do that to us, you know? And I was like, all right, but it ended up being him. So, yeah, I absolutely thought that that was a possibility. I saw how close he was to them, and it was just too almost apparent, you know, to see that. And then, God, there was also that thing right before the double eviction episode when Ian came to me in the bedroom and he was like, I think we can work with Brittany and Dan if Mike goes. And I knew right then something was off. And I was like, I can't work with Dan. He said Brittany's name like 15 times. Brittany, 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 we have to keep her safe. Brittany, Brittany, Brittany. And from that moment on, I was like,
so he kind of
slipped. Yeah.
Was there any moment in the house that you thought you couldn't trust Dan after you made that final 2 deal with him?
You know, he did a pretty good job of making me think as though we were good. You know, he did stupid things like pose for renegade pictures like he used to with Memphis, which doesn't mean anything to me. But he would come to me and be worried about me, you know, me trusting him, and would be like, you know, once these votes go down on Thursday, I don't want you having any doubts about me anymore and stuff like that. And that was just kind of making me. I really did think going into the thing that it could be 2-2. I thought I might have Jen and Dan for sure, but then I might not have Danielle and Shane. I mean, he did kind of dupe me a little bit that last week, but I mean, when he took Jen off the block, I was like, this guy at least went halfway through with it. Why would he not go completely through with it and work with us? And he didn't.
Where's your blue water bottle?
Oh, it's in my bag.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah. With the little knobs and stuff on it.
I mean, that was your buddy in the house.
That was my buddy.
Every scene you got is that with that thing.
Well, like what got me is, I mean, people that didn't clean up after themselves in the house, and so you would always just see just 10, 15, 20 cups by the sink and in the sink, and so I was like, I'm always going to drink out of this water bottle. Nobody could ever blame me for leaving a dirty cup in the sink.
Who was the dirtiest in the house?
Oh my gosh! Let me list off a couple. Danielle, Brittany, Ian, and Dan. It's not just because I dislike those people, but like Ian's obviously a 21-year-old kid. He doesn't really know how to clean up after himself that well. But Brittany, like, she would make these giant mugs of coffee and just drink half of it, and there would be like 3 half mugs of coffee all over the house from like 3 days old that she just never cleaned up.
And the further you get along, the less people clean.
Exactly.
Like day one, everyone's like, I got it. I'll do it. You want something? You know, and then by the end, you're just like, everyone's just all messy and stuff.
I always cleaned up all my, I mean, I would even clean my pan after cooking eggs before I ate my eggs. I just wanted to make sure nobody had any extra fuel against me. I was already on the block 6 times. I didn't need anything else to get me put up there.
I haven't watched Big Brother from the beginning, but I don't know if anyone's ever been on the block every single week other than being HOH. I mean, I don't know, but there might. I mean, the fans will definitely know. But you've been a big fan of Big Brother, so you might know.
I mean, I talked to Ian and Dan about it because Ian's obviously got this wealth of knowledge about Big Brother in his head, and he said that it was a record because 5 nominations was the most nominations before that, and then obviously being nominated every time other than HOH was kind of a first too. So
are you looking forward to getting into that jury house with your kinda?
With my kind of show minutes, my flip minutes. I mean, it's at least nice to know that I have somebody there that I can talk to and I don't hold any grudges against because I've got 2 weeks to sit in there.
Well, first of all, was there anything serious going on with that, or was you just getting lonely? What was the story there?
Oh, maybe a little bit of both. You know, I mean,
the voice went up there. Did you hear that?
I mean, you definitely do get a little lonely in that house, and there towards the end, even especially when Mike was up on the block, you know, she was there for me a lot when I was feeling down, and that helped out a lot.
How is she really? I mean, obviously I've met her, but through the whole time, is she really just Ashley through and through? You know what I mean? I don't use specific words, but
you mean like a little flighty?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a good word.
What surprised me is I thought that all the way up until like a week and a half before Mike went home. And all of a sudden, this gamer came out in Ashley. And me and Mike couldn't stop talking about how impressed we were with her. I mean, she was going out there and hustling for votes for Mike, who she just started working with us. And so we were absolutely impressed with her at the end. She was... People underestimated her, and we underestimated it too. And if we would have known that in the beginning, we would have worked with her earlier on.
If you would have won last HOH, who would you have put? Oh, you couldn't play that last HOH, right? The one you went out, they put you right up right away, right?
You talking about this last one I just went out? Yeah. Ian won. You want the one around the 6th?
Exactly.
Yeah. I would have put up...
if you could have played, who would you have put up? You would like what I'm getting at is, would you have kept Dan around, or would you have taken a shot at him?
I think I would have put up either Ian and Shane or Ian and Dan. I'm sorry, Ian and Danielle.
Danielle?
Yeah.
Who do you think has the best shot of taking this home now? I mean...
If I have anything to say about it, I'll make sure Jen has the votes in the jury.
Oh, yeah?
Absolutely.
You're going to keep playing the game. I mean, you're not totally out of the game. You still predict who wins that $500,000.
And if Jen's in the final 2, I'll do my best to make sure she wins. I mean... she's the one person left in the house that's never lied to me, and that means a lot to me. You know.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Me too. You know, that means a lot to me as well when people play with integrity. But it's not necessarily the right way to play the game.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
I mean, I think we play similar. You know, and I would love to play with you. If you would ever come back for All-Stars, would you?
Absolutely.
Well, they'd have to ask us both back, number one.
Absolutely. Ask us both back.
I mean, I think it'd be a great team if I could get up with you. You know what I mean? Because we play an honest game, but that's not necessarily the right answer. A lot of people are like, oh, I hate when you play like that. So, I mean, backstabbing it's open. It's fair game.
Absolutely.
So you can't really hate people's games for that, but just I like the way you play, man.
I appreciate it. I like the way you play.
Oh, man.
I like your style.
All right. Oh, look, we got another question. This is live, so I wasn't getting any questions. But the good news is I can't mess up reading any questions. But the bad news is I was running out of things to ask you. All right. So the next question is, what do you think about Shane's? Oh my God. Well, let me just ask you this right away. What do you think about Shane's style? That wasn't where I was going at, but I thought
it's kind of like Backstreet Boys late '90s. Like old school b-boy style. It's pretty. I mean, it's pretty weak sauce, pretty vanilla sauce.
What do you think about those puka shells?
The puka shell necklaces. His picture for press was in the puka shell necklace. I was like, who the hell is this guy wearing? I was like, what year does he think it is?
Yes,
he's
man.
like 15 years late on that.
All right, this is an ongoing joke.
He's not even from the beach. He's from Vermont. This makes no sense whatsoever.
Oh my God, Shane! I apologize to Shane's family if they ever watch. I talk about it every single week.
Yeah.
I don't know where those things came from. These puka beads. At least you know half the house kids didn't even know what the hell they were. They're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
But we got a lot with Shane. But I apologize to family and friends over there. But what do you think about Shane? He put you up on the block a few times. So what do you think overall? Not about his style, but just about him as a person and winning this game.
You know, I really wanted to think he was a guy, a man of his word, and he ended up kind of being not a man. He ended up kind of just being a kid who didn't know how to play this game, and he didn't really know much about the game. Just started watching the show in June, actually, before he got on. And I really thought he was a guy who was going to be honest and stick to what he said, but every time he had the chance to prove it, he went against it, and it was kind of a disappointment for somebody like that, because you think he's this nice guy, and he's a nice guy. I'm not going to say he's not a nice guy, but he's just he's not an honest guy, I guess.
Well, I think his social game is, you know, there's some other people in the house that are way socially better.
Yeah.
You know, I think his social game's down. And early on, you did try to make an alliance with him, and I thought it was a good move at the time. You know, I thought you guys needed each other.
Agreed.
Yeah, but
I mean, I think too since he didn't know anything about the game, he was so easily manipulated by people like Brittany and Dan who'd played before, and he really did trust what they said because they'd been there before.
And you think that has a big influence, having some of those people, so people are kind of not starstruck in a way because there's no stars, but you know, I mean, they played the game before, so people are drawn to that.
Absolutely, they just completely were like, "Hey, I'm gonna listen to what this person says because they know what's best for me."
Were you drawn to that with Boogie?
I mean, I could see how that's possible, you know, but since I did know the game, maybe it's not as, you know, on the same page as them. I mean, I think I didn't play Mike's game, you know, so I think that's the difference between, you know, between me and somebody like Shane or Danielle is I still played this honest game and everything, and in fact, I feel like I brought a little bit of honesty out of Mike.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are a great team because he is kind of a different player. You know what I mean? He's a great social player, maybe the greatest, you know, one of the greatest of all time. But you guys definitely backed each other well. But
you know what was great is, you know, I'm the straightforward, honest guy, but one thing me and Mike both do is we stand up for what we believe in. And so there were those times where we were just like, hey, you know, you screwed us, and we're going to let you know that you screwed us. I mean,
do you think partly, I mean, it's great to have someone in a house like that, but do you think partly that might have been some of your downfall, not to be as social with other people because you were so close with Mike?
I could see how that could happen a little bit. I mean, sometimes me and Mike were on an island a little bit. I mean, we really did. It was nice to have somebody to talk to you felt like you've known your whole life, but at the same time, we'd get caught up in those conversations and wouldn't socialize as much. And
it puts, I mean, having two great players, it puts a big target on you.
Absolutely.
You know?
I mean, people looked at us and knew we were the tightest two people in the house, and that worried a lot of people.
Exactly.
They knew nobody wanted to work with us because they knew we'd take each other.
Right. So, I mean, like I said, no regrets.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? You got a good friend out of it.
Absolutely.
Which brings us to the next question. Bouncy Ashley 28 wants to know, who will you continue to talk to after Big Brother?
Obviously Mike, Ashley, Jen. I actually, even though I sent Will home, I think Will's a heck of a guy. I like Will a lot, you know. And
he's an interesting guy.
He's definitely an interesting guy.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I don't. You know, obviously some people who went out early, I don't know as much about them to be able to really make a judgment call. But you know, Kara seems like a nice girl, but I mean, she's only there for a week, so I don't really know her that well. I don't want to not say her name. People think, oh, he doesn't like Kara for whatever reason.
Right.
So,
I mean, how long ago was that scene for you?
it feels like 4 months ago.
Are you and Will not so close because you guys are battling and who has better hair?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of jokes about the hair. In fact, I remember seeing him before the show and thinking, this guy's my competition as far as getting on the show when I saw that long hair.
Oh, yeah, because you got to need someone similar to you. Who has better hair overall?
All mine's real and half of his is fake, so I'm going to give it to me. Sorry, Will.
Oh, he's got great lustrous hair,
He does.
I didn't know if it was fake or not, but
Yeah.
he looks...
He does look, he's got a great...
He's a good-looking cat.
Yeah.
All right, so Sandy wants to know, Frank, who would you like to see walk into the jury house next?
I think this is pretty obvious. It's going to be Dan. That's who I want to see coming through next.
Ooh, if it was Dan, would you have words for him?
Absolutely. I mean, I'd probably, I just would probably let the guy look, I helped you out when you were up on the block the other week, and you didn't return the favor, and then you lied to me Monday through Thursday. They could have told me, hey, Frank, we're not voting you out. We are voting you out, but instead they kept telling me I was golden, and that makes me feel like almost like I look a little stupid for it, and so that irritates me. I just want to be like, look, give me my space in the jury house and just don't come around me.
I know how that goes too, man. I mean, it's all coming back. You're haunting me a little bit. Okay, Ethan wants to know, Frank, if you could airdrop a video or a note inside the Big Brother backyard, what would you tell your former house guests?
At this point, there's not anybody I can really tell anybody anything except for I would maybe tell Jen to don't trust Danielle and to get rid of her and Dan as soon as possible.
Would it be a helpful note or would it be a hateful note?
It'd be hating on Dan and Danielle, but it'd be trying to help Jen. Yeah.
So but ultimately, who do you think has the best chance of winning right now? You think Jen's got a good chance of getting in the final two?
I do think she's got a pretty good chance. Obviously, Dan and Danielle have a pretty good chance too because they're close. But I did my best to at least try to separate them a little bit this last week by telling Danielle some things. Of course, she might have already known those things for all I know. But so that could also mean that Shane and Danielle, have a chance. But if anybody wins, it's not them two. They could easily get put up and one of them goes home. So obviously, I want to see Jen win. I could see her getting to the end.
I could see. I mean, she did play kind of a floaters game towards the end, and then she stepped it up. At the end,
she made
which is
move.
a great. I mean, I would love to play that route. Wouldn't you like to play that route?
Oh my gosh! I mean, I came into this house not wanting to win any competitions. I wanted to. I'm not super competitive, so I didn't go out there like, oh, I got to win because I want to win because I'm super competitive. I wanted to go out there, and I knew I would be kind of a target because people would look at me physically and mentally or whatever, and be a little bit worried about that. And so I was wanting to not win competitions unless I had to, and I had to.
And you did that well. But I mean, to win out is like nearly
it's almost impossible.
You know what I mean? Nearly impossible. Drink to the Tide wants to know, to Frank, will you cut your hair before the finale?
Absolutely not. I might get a small trim, but it's still going to be long locks for me.
Like Samson.
No, it's where my strength's at.
How about in that last competition where you taken all those penalties? You had the chum dunk.
Wouldn't have done it.
You wouldn't have cut your hair?
I wouldn't have shaved my head. That's the one thing I would not do.
For anything.
I mean,
what if you were in the final four and you had to do it to get to the final three, or final three to get
to the different case. That's a different scenario. In that scenario, I probably would have shaved my head, but
and your eyebrows.
I guess so. Oh my gosh, I look weird without eyebrows. What I was worried about is that house is so stressful. I was worried it might not grow back
because of all the stress.
Yeah.
Well, once you get out, I'm telling you, you're gonna have a lot of time to decompress.
Yeah.
And you're still part of that jury. So Riley wants to know: is Frank? Are you single?
I am single, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
You're looking to mingle with Ashley in the jury house?
I'm looking to mingle with anybody. Maybe Ashley in the jury house. I don't know.
Maybe Riley?
Yeah, maybe Riley. I think I've been saying all summer long. This just sounds so weird. I've got one more good prom in me. So if there's any 18-year-old seniors out there, put in an application.
Okay, there was a question earlier that says, would you go to prom with me? I think we're going to get to that, but I didn't know what it meant. So what were you saying, all morning?
Like me,
not all morning, all year to the...
Yeah, me and one of my good buddies back home, Daniel, we used to always have this joke. We went to a lot of proms in high school, and we've always said since then we've got one more good prom in us, and it's just this running joke. And so I was saying that a lot to the people in the house, and I'd say it to the cameras sometimes. I mean, I don't know if I
So if someone really asked you, would you go?
I mean, I think I might. It would obviously not be a romantic thing. It'd just be a fun thing.
I think he's going to prom. For
I'm
sure.
going to prom. I got to get it in before I turn 30.
Oh my God! Not get it in, but just go to. Man, there's a big age gap there.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, don't take him to prom.
Yeah, don't.
Parents, don't let your kids go. All right, Linda wants to know honestly, what do you do for a living? Let's be honest.
I don't have a job right now.
What's up?
I lost my job a few years ago, and I'm at this stage in my life where I don't know what it is that I want to do, and I didn't want to settle for something, and I was good with my money. I worked all the way through college and saved my money up, and so I haven't had to have a job recently because I've kind of been living off savings, and I've got low overhead. But, you know, it's coming to that time where I've got to start picking something. I just don't know what it is that I want to do yet.
What are you interested in?
I don't know. Big Brother, I guess.
You're just gonna play Big Brother?
I mean, if I can, who knows? Maybe they'll let me.
I tried doing that. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
I gotta do it in front of the camera.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know yet. I've always kind of hoped that this might open up some doors that possibility that I didn't have before. And I'm not talking about necessarily in entertainment. I'm just talking about in anything. It might,
right.
Somebody might say, hey, Frank, I think that guy can sell refrigerators for me, and he might give me a call, and I might love that job.
Is there maybe an LA move for you in the future?
I don't know. I mean, I have to ask Nana if she wanted to come out to LA.
You got to bring Nana?
Yeah.
Does Nana surf?
No, Nana does not surf. Nana didn't like flying in planes.
There's a first time for everything.
I know, right?
Well, tell Nana.
We'll get her on one of those big longboards.
Absolutely, she'll love it. All right, here we go. I don't know how to read that. Kimberly. See how it's spelled out? Pretty cute there.
Yeah.
Kimberly, very crafty. Who out of the house guests was your favorite?
I think it's probably obvious, Mike. We got along. I mean, when he left, it felt like a friend that I've known for my whole life was walking out the door, and that was tough. But I mean, other than that, obviously Ashley and Jen, I mean, they were people that really, I was endeared to them and vice versa. I mean, day before yesterday, Jen was crying in the DR for like 45 minutes because she was worried about me leaving, and that made me feel good about at least some of the relationships I built in the house.
All right. Well, some of the fans want to know, how are you on your Chilltown style phone calls now?
Oh man, I haven't done any in a while, I guess, because Mike's gone. But
do you want to do one as a tribute to Mike?
Well, yeah, let's do one.
Do you want to lead it?
All right.
All right, here we go.
So, Jeff,
You didn't even make the phone ring.
Oh, okay. All right. Ring, ring, ring.
Oh, hello?
Hey, what's up, Jeff?
Oh, what's going on, Frank?
Man, so I thought I was going to be staying last night on a 4-0 vote. Turns out Dan and Danielle lied to me again.
For what? Was this like the 4th or 5th time, right?
I think it was the 15th.
15th. And now where are you?
I went out on a 3-1 vote, and I'm on my way to jury house.
Oh man, that was a sad one.
I know, it's supposed to be bum.
We can't do it without Boogie. He's the man.
He's the man.
We tried to do it, but
he's the one that does them.
We did it good though.
Yeah.
We tried our best. Boogie, there's no one like you.
Miss
But that was
you,
a
Mike.
tribute. All right, man. So that's it. Anything last you want to say to the fans? Because you've been a great Big Brother player. I mean, I don't want to play favorites, but
yeah,
you did a great job, man.
I just hope we put on a good show, and I put on a good show as best as possible, and I hope I didn't let anybody down back home.
I don't think so, man. Well, guys, stay tuned. As you know, this is a double eviction. We're going to have the next house guest rolling in here a little bit.
Who is it?
So go grab a snack, and we'll be right back.